Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Chris and I'm a medical doctor and PhD candidate in epidemiology. And I'm also helping the healthcare professionals to relocate to another country. And today in this video, I'm going to share you how to work as a general practitioner in New Zealand without any clinical exam result. So it's possible to work in New Zealand as a general practitioner without any clinical exam results. Yes, it's possible. So you need to stick around my video until the end so you can get some ideas and you can apply step by step to work as a general practitioner in New Zealand. So let's get into it. So there are multiple pathways or multiple scope to get a general practitioner in New Zealand. So today in this video, I only mentioned three main pathways. You can, if you want to know every pathway, you can check their website. In general practitioner pathway, you can read the pathway. There are many pathways, and it's a little bit difficult to understand easily. I'm here. I will provide the simple way and the most common pathway to work as a general practitioner in New Zealand, including without any clinical exam. Okay, so the first part is you need to understand step by step how to work as a GP in New Zealand. So the first step is you have to check your eligibility. So your qualifications are you need to be a qualified doctor with MBBS or equivalent, and you have recent clinical experience within the 3 to 5 years, and you must have your English proficiency test, either IELTS or TOEFL in your hands. So if you meet these eligibility criteria, you can go step 2. The step 2 is to identify the appropriate registration pathway. In here, in this video, I will provide only pathway. This is very common, and if you don't have any clinical exam, the pathway I will mention in here as well. So the first, the common pathway is called competent authority pathway. Before diving into the New Zealand pathway are quite similar to the Australia because they have a same system. They have a similar system. So if you are already known about the Australia pathway, and New Zealand pathway is quite easy to understand. So the first pathway is the competent authority pathway. If you are trained in UK and through the PLAB route and you are already complete your foundations year 1, you can go competent authority pathway to work as a GP in New Zealand. And if you are trained in Ireland or Australia, if you already passed AMC 1, and if you have a USMLE and 1 year postgrad in US, and you have a LMCC plus 1 year internship from Canada, so you are eligible to apply directly for professional registration. So you don't need to sit any additional exam. You can directly apply as a professional registration pathway. So if you are working in those countries, UK, Ireland, Australia, USA, or Canada, you can apply directly for professional registrations. And the second pathway is comparable health system pathway. If you are experienced GPs and you got the training in those kind of countries, UK, Ireland, Canada, USA, and Australia, and you already work as a GP for 3 years within the last 5 years. So you already got the trainings in those countries, and you have 3 years of GP practice within the last 5 years, and you are already recognized in their country as a specialist GP. So you must show there your evidence of postgraduate GP trainings or certificates like MRCGP or FRACGP or CCFP. So if you can provide this kind of documents and you meet the eligibility criteria or you have the experience I have mentioned, you can apply for comparable assessments. They will assess you and as a GP. But you don't have those kind of qualifications and experience above a pathway like a competent authority pathway or comparable health system pathway. The last pathway is for you guys. This pathway is embedded in the comparable pathway, but if you are searching in the website, you cannot directly find the main title or main scope. This is embedded in the comparable pathway. If you are not eligible for comparable pathway, there is a few options. So you can find those kind of few options, but you cannot find the main scope of the GP pathway, even if you don't have those kind of qualifications and experience. So what we call this is practice in a defined scope or practice under the supervisions. And your medical degree is recognized from the New Zealand, and you have a strong experience in general practice for 3 to 5 years. And you are willing to work under the supervisions initially in New Zealand, so you can apply a job, especially in rural and remote area. If in the rural and remote area they have a shortage, and the rural or the remote general practice they have a vacancy they have a vacancy to work as a supervision, so you can apply for a job. If you are qualified as a GP, they will invite you to conduct to sit the interview. If you pass the interview, and they will offer you as a GP, and you can work in there. So in here, yes, I'm working as a GP in my home country, but my clinical experience is suboptimal standard compared to the Australia, New Zealand or UK. I don't think you are not eligible to apply those pathway, because your practice is under the suboptimal and substandard. So if you are practicing under the substandards, you cannot get job offer, because when you are how can I say, your interview will not be successful, because you are practicing in your home country within a very how can I say, traditional way of GP practice. So how can I know am I practicing the standard of GP like Australia GP, UK GP or New Zealand GP? So you can find some guideline that was provided by GP institutes or GP associations, especially, and you can find the MRCGP guideline that was published by UK, and RACGP that was provided by the Australia GP associations or Australia GP training. So you can download it and you can read it, which they have a core module. Am I practicing those kind of things in my home country? So if yes, you can apply and you can find a job in rural and remote areas, and they will provide, or they will if you are on the shortlist, you can get interview and you can sit the clinical interview, and if you are eligible and if you are qualified, you can get the job offer and you can go this pathway. And if you are not qualified and you are not practicing within the standard practice, and it's not possible to get a job offer, and if you don't have a job offer, you cannot apply this pathway. So I would suggest you, the first step is you need to assess by yourself. Am I practicing within the standards, or am I practicing suboptimal standards? It is very important. If you are not qualified, you cannot get a job offer. So if you are qualified and you are practicing within the standard, this is the best options to apply the registrations as a GP in New Zealand. So this is very important to you, and you can download some standard guidelines for the general practice, and I will provide the link for the RACGP standard for general practice 5th editions. And so there are a lot of there are over 270 pages, and they provide many modules like communications and patients participations, and right and needs of the patients, practice governance and management. So if you don't know what is clinical governance, and so it's difficult to get a job offer. And you need to know health promotions and preventive activities, because GP is the primary healthcare provider. So you need to know, or you have experience in health promotions and preventive activities. And the other part is the clinical management and health issue, and information management, and content of health records, and health records, and they are integrated with some insurance system. So you have an experience of the information management, especially in digital management. So it's a part of their module. So you can check your experience that meet the standard guideline or standard practice. So I will provide the standard for general practice that was provided by RACGP Australia 5th editions in my descriptions below. Okay, if you meet the criteria, and if you are eligible to apply a job, or if you got a job offer, what is the next step? And you don't need any clinical exam, but you have to have English language proficiency test. If you went to 6 IELTS academics, your overall band score must be 7.5 and not less than 7.0 in each band, or OET minimum be in each band, and that must be within 2 years. It is same like as other country. And you can apply for registrations with MC and Z. So if you define which pathway I have to go, and I provide 3 pathways: competent authority pathway, comparable health system pathway, and under general practice under supervision pathway. So after defining which pathway I have to go, and then you have to apply the registrations through their portal or their websites, and you can create an account and submit your verified medical degrees, clinical experience evidence, and your English proficiency test result, and fitness to practice, and police certificates, and job offer. For the pathway number 3, you need to have job offer, otherwise you cannot submit your registrations. So you have to wait MC and Z approval. It will take 4 to 12 weeks. And for the pathway number 3, you have to work under supervision. You secure a job offer. So rural and regional GP clinics, it's easier to get the supervisions, and the employers offering support for immigrations and relocations process. So You can find some local job applications or local websites to secure your job in especially rural and remote areas. And then you can apply for a work visa. For MCNZ, they approve your registrations, and you can apply for a work to resident visa or accredited employer work visa. For New Zealand, GPs are on the green list. You mean what is green list? It's easier to migrate and get PR. So how beautiful it is. If you work as a GP in New Zealand, it's an easy way to get the permanent residency, and you can get a visa very easily. So I would recommend you, if you meet one of those criteria, please apply the GP in New Zealand. And after getting your work visa, and now you are in New Zealand, so congratulations. This is wonderful journey for you, and you can practice under supervision. So you will be on professional registrations initially, and you have to work under supervisions for 6 to 12 months. And after it, after your supervisions, they will assess you, and then your assessment is complete and finished, and you will gain full registrations. So this is the step. After 2 years of working in New Zealand, I already mentioned you are on the green list. You can apply for resident visa, or you can apply for permanent resident visa, or you are eligible for GP vocational training like a RNZCGP. This is a kind of specialist trainings in New Zealand. So this is the last step. So these are the 8 steps if you want to work as a GP in New Zealand. So in this video, the important information is your experience makes the standard practice or not. It is important. If your practice didn't meet the standard practice, it's not possible to apply this way. But if your GP experience is very strong and you are working with within the standard, this is the good opportunity without any clinical exam or without any difficult process. So you can work in as a GP in New Zealand. So I hope this information will help you to work as a GP in New Zealand in my video. So see you in my next video.